I gave my life to that company. I wasn't flashy. I wasn't the kind of guy who bragged at meetings or talked over others. I was steady, reliable, the kind of man who picked up the slack when no one else would. For years, I was the one keeping the books balanced, catching mistakes, and quietly fixing them before they ever reached my boss's desk. I thought loyalty meant something. But one night, I saw numbers that didn't add up. Transfers, hidden accounts, money that had no business being there. At first, I thought it was a mistake, an oversight. But the deeper I looked, the clearer it became. My boss was running a slush fund. I felt sick. Still, I believed I was doing the right thing when I brought it to him. I thought he'd thank me. I thought I was protecting him, protecting the company. But I was wrong. I was dead wrong. I walked into his office, the evidence in my hands, my heart pounding. I explained everything, the payments, the shell accounts, the hidden money trail. I laid it all out, expecting shock, maybe even fear. Instead, he laughed. Not a nervous laugh. Not the kind of laugh that says, "You caught me." No, this was a smug, arrogant laugh. The kind that told me he thought I was nothing. He leaned back in his chair, smirked, and said, "You've been working too hard. Don't worry about it. Just stick to your little spreadsheets." Little spreadsheets. That's what he called the work that had kept his empire standing for years. That's what he reduced me to. A man hunched over numbers, too small to matter. That laugh, it burned. It echoed in my chest like fire. And in that moment, every shred of respect I'd had for him turned to ash. After that day, everything changed. I was cut out of meetings I had always been a part of. My projects were reassigned without explanation. When I walked into a room, conversations stopped. People who used to lean on me now avoided me. He didn't just ignore me, he erased me. The humiliation was brutal. I came home every night staring at myself in the mirror, wondering how I could give so much of myself and still be treated like I was nothing. I felt like a ghost walking the halls of a company I had built piece by piece. And in my silence, a thought began to take root. I wasn't invisible. I was disposable. And I swore I'd never let him laugh at me again. I went back into the books, but this time, not to save him. This time to bury him. I traced every dirty dollar, every offshore transfer, every lie he thought was hidden. I dug through emails, contracts, invoices that didn't exist. I copied everything. And I kept smiling in front of him. I played the loyal accountant, the harmless worker bee, the man with little spreadsheets. But behind the scenes, I was building a case. Every click of my keyboard was another nail in the coffin of his empire. And the best part? He didn't suspect a thing. He thought I was still loyal, still bending under his arrogance. What I was really doing was loading the gun. When the moment was right, I pulled the trigger. I didn't confront him. I didn't walk into his office like some desperate fool looking for recognition. No, I went over his head. Way over. I sent everything, every record, every detail, to the board, to the authorities, to the people who had the power to crush him. And I timed it perfectly. He was on a luxury cruise when it all came crashing down, surrounded by champagne, bragging about how untouchable he was, while back home, investigators were freezing his accounts and dismantling everything he had built. Imagine it, sitting on a sunlit deck, drink in hand, when the calls start coming in, when the emails start flooding, when the empire you mocked others for protecting is suddenly ripped apart. That cruise he paid for with stolen money? It became the stage for his downfall. And me? I sat back, calm, steady, finally in control. By the time he stepped off that ship, it was over. His accounts were frozen. His reputation destroyed. His so-called empire sank beneath the weight of his greed. And the laugh that once haunted me? It was gone. I realized something then. Silence can be a weapon. Patience can be a blade. And loyalty. Loyalty is only sacred when it's respected. I wasn't just an employee. I wasn't a fool. I was the tide that sank his cruise. And the best part? He never saw it coming. So laugh all you want. Mock the men who stand beside you. Dismiss their warnings. Because one day, that man you thought was weak will rise. And when he does, he'll have the last word. And that word is justice.